All right, my friends, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. I'm sure you heard about the update from Adam Mosseri on his Instagram account where he announced that Instagram is not just a photo sharing app anymore. But what does that mean for you and your business? Stay tuned for this episode of the Wildly You podcast for entrepreneurs. I am Sydney DeLucci, and I'm going to cover everything you need to know and even share my own strategy. So stay tuned. Hey, you guys, welcome to the replay of the new live series that I'm starting. I'm Sydney DeLucci, and I am a social media management and marketing agency owner, as well as a creative business coach for entrepreneurs. I help entrepreneurs show up and embody what makes them wildly them in their offer suites and their social media content, as well as their strategy for how everything connects in their business. So today we are going to be talking about shifting Instagram content for success after Adam Mosseri's most recent announcement that Instagram is not just a Square photo sharing app. And I have a whole setup. I'll show you guys at the end of this. I am recording for a YouTube video as well as a podcast episode. And I'm really excited. Like this setup is just kind of crazy. So my computer's down here, my phone is up here, I have a microphone right here, my backdrop is set up, and we're just gonna make the most of it. So let's get right started. As you hop on, I'd love it if you would say, hey, let me know if you have any questions about the shift that Instagram has made or any announcements that have popped up. I want to address the elephant in the room right off the bat. I am not here to make you scared. I am here to help you figure out how to still stay on Instagram as a platform, because there's so many things you have to take into account when it comes to these massive shifts that platforms have talked about. So at what point does this kind of become like a marketing stunt for Instagram to get people hyped up and talking about it, right? And then there's going to be a super divide, which we're already seeing in people just like, oh, I just hate it. And the people are like, yes, I'm so excited for this new opportunity to incorporate more video content. And it's actually kind of smart on Instagram's part. They want to promote more video content. They want their creators to be posting more video content to keep people on the app, and they're going to weed out the people that just aren't going to benefit that process. So it's not dumb, but it feels a certain way as a business owner trying to use Instagram for marketing our business, right? So thank you so much for joining me. If you missed my little introduction, I'm Sydney DeLucci. I am a creative business coach for entrepreneurs. I help you figure out strategies that are wildly you, so you don't have to be stressed the F out anymore, right? Okay, so what we know to be true about this new shift that Instagram is taking is that they're pushing video content. This includes lives, IGTVs, reels, obviously, and stories. So Adam mentioned that there's going to be more of a full screen video viewing, which gives me the feel of TikTok. And a lot of people are talking about the fact that like Instagram's trying to be TikTok, but they're just trying to keep up with their competitors. Like, I get it. I have certain feelings about how they copy all of the big platforms, but that's not the topic for this live or this recording today. So, what you're really here for is how to freaking shift your content strategy into something that's not going to make you want to pull your hair out and something that's actually going to be helpful, right? So I have some slides for you, and I haven't shared slides since they updated this. So stay with me here. Oh, look at this. Oh, you can't see the bottom of it. Okay, anyways, I'm still going to present it. So some things to think about when you're shifting your Instagram strategy are three things at first. What can you sustain? Like, nobody at all telling you what to do. I want you to really think about what you can actually sustain in your business and your life. If you're a mom and you have 3 kids running around, you can't sustain a post every single day of the week. That is okay. That's okay. The people that are telling you that you have to post every single day to grow, they're not wrong. Posting every day helps, but at what expense, right? Like, I would rather you have sustainable growth rather than burning yourself the heck out and then not even wanting to come back to it ever, right? So we are prioritizing mental health and just making sure that we keep all the balls juggled in the air at the same time rather than harnessing one and just disregarding the rest. So sustainability is a very important process, something that you really need to get clear on what that means for you. And I can't really give you what's right or wrong, but I'm going to give you some examples coming up in the next slide, I believe. So for like content strategy posting, I'll show you mine, and then I'll show you one that's a little bit less like a lot. But remember, I have a lot of experience in this. We have 3 clients right now that we do complete social media management and strategy for, and it's just sustainable for me. So that doesn't mean it has to be the case for you. Okay, done with that tangent. So the next piece I want you to consider is, what challenges are you actually open to? Are you open to trying out, figuring out how to do transitions and reels? Do you want your face in your reels? Do you want to try to figure out some other way to show up in reels? Do you want to try to slowly encourage yourself to get on an Instagram live? Y'all, it is scary. My first live on any platform was, I believe, 4 years ago. And I kid you not, I sweat through my shirt. It's a good thing that my hair was long, because that was like the only thing that was like my saving grace to my pit stains. So it is okay if you're scared AF the first time, but your audience, they're going to know. They're going to know that you're like nervous, and they're going to come and support you, especially if you let them know, hey, you guys, I'd love it if you'd support me for my first ever live. Come ask me questions and help me make this a more enjoyable process for all of us. Boom. It's so easy when you allow your audience to allow you to be a human. And that is something that you deserve in your strategy. Okay. Next thing is, where do you need support, which we're going to get to later. But when you talk about your sustainability, we're going to loop back. We're going to circle back a little bit. When you talk about your sustainability, I want you to think about your posting frequency, your batching process, and the organization that you use throughout the whole entire thing, right? So if you have defined what your sustainable post frequency is, and you have the ability to jot it down right now, go ahead. You could also comment it on here if you'd like. I'm going to try to remember to take screenshots as we go so that I can go back and reply to you guys after this live. So your batching process, okay, this is something that I could tangent on for forever, but your batching process doesn't have to look like a textbook batching process. It doesn't have to look like the gurus are sharing on Instagram. It doesn't have to look like my process. I have been trying to encapsulate my creativity, but I also have an organizational system that can help me quickly jot down an idea, because my brain works in a very different way than a lot of people. If it's on my mind, I have to get it out. And sometimes that derails me from the things that I'm doing currently. And that shouldn't be the case. Like, I should be able to get it done, get it out of my system, and then refocus. And if you have ADHD like I do, it is a constant battle. But as you practice ways to kind of control it creatively, then you will be feeling so much more better by that. My quick tip for you is your voice memos on your phone. DM me after or during this live or whatever, and ask me about the touch thing that I have on my phone screen, and you can hold down on that and it'll immediately open your voice memos app for you if you create that shortcut. So that's something else that we can come back to later. But that is my saving grace in my batching process. Now, you can't see it because it's behind your little comments down here, and I'm going to get to those in just a second. But video content is here to stay. And here's how you can stay on top of this new, it's not really new, but this new push that they're trying to make for video content, right? So the first and foremost thing is, if it's new to you, it's time to start learning about it. Figure out how to start educating yourself on it. Maybe you take a course in that. Maybe you find a mentor to help you with video, or maybe you just start consuming a variety of video content. For myself, I like to find a transition that I really want to learn, and I will watch video after video after video, and I'm analyzing each of the different people's interpretation of it, because over time, and as you watch these videos after videos, you're going to be able to pinpoint exactly what they had to do to get it done, because some people just don't execute it as well as others, right? So it helps you figure out how to start the process, and then how to make it look really good. So educating yourself, setting some time limits on that educational lane that you're going to try out will be also very helpful. So you don't fall down the rabbit hole and look up 2 hours later and you're like, oh, F bomb. Like I had so much other stuff to do. I've been there before. I stayed up until 2 a.m. one time watching the Bippity Boppity Boo videos on TikTok. Yeah, it was a problem. So I said, start learning how to create those things and then start learning how to edit things. It doesn't have to be hard at first. My favorite app, I pay for it. It's Video Leap. I am understanding that you can also do the same thing with InShot. I like Video Leap because it's very easy to navigate for me, and that's just what I've used. So go find something that's helpful. But if you saw my reel today, I said that one of the biggest tips for reels for transitions for like lazy people like me, calling myself out, is editing your content outside of the Reels camera, because we've all had Instagram crash on us and then have been just completely defeated, right? I want you to avoid that feeling of defeat, and I want you to feel fun and creative and excited. And the more that we can shift our mindset around that and be more in control of how we're feeling about the creative process, the more beneficial it is for us for that sustainability that we talked about. Okay. Next thing is batch create. So your ideas that you're coming up with on the fly, you're making the voice memos, right? You probably mentioned in your voice memo that you want it to be a reel, for example. That's what I do. So when I'm listening back to it, I know right off the bat, okay, well, when I'm going to be looking for reels audio or transitions ideas, I'm going to have this idea in the back of my head while I'm considering like how I could use these audios, etc. So then I know how to quickly create that reel. And then when I'm like clean, so when I'm clean and my hair is done, I'm able to quickly create that reel from that content when I look decently presentable. And then, so for example, down here underneath where you can't read, it says maximize where possible. And it says, so for example, if you start out with a podcast, you could create a live, I can't really read it either. You could create the reels. Obviously, you could record with video for IGTV. Okay, so exactly what I'm doing right now. So I have my computer set up. I'm on Zoom and I'm recording. I'm going live on Instagram at the same time, and I have full intent of doing a YouTube video on my computer, this IGTV that posts Thursday, this current live that I'm currently doing with you guys, and then I'm also going to transcribe the audio from the podcast using rev.com. Super simple. It charges you, but like, yo, it's worth my money to have that delegated out to somebody to transcribe it. It transcribes my audio, and then I can go back and repurpose it into blog posts and supplemental social media content. Bing, bang, boom. How many posts did I just come up with? 5 right here on the fly from this setup that took me 5 minutes to coordinate and draw out for you. It doesn't have to be difficult, but it kind of creates a little bit of strategy upcoming. All right, so let's move on to the next slide, which is what everybody wants to see, is this is my content strategy. So after we got that update about Instagram prioritizing video content, I readjusted my strategy. So what you're looking at is on Mondays, I post a carousel. On Tuesdays, I go live at 2 p.m. And today I did a reel, but I think I'm going to be moving that to Wednesday so I don't have to do so much content. Wednesdays, I'm going to post a reel. Thursdays is the reposting of the live. And then Friday is a static grid post. And then boom, I'm off for the weekend. Repurposing content as needed. I could probably reiterate the information from today's live into a carousel post for Monday and drive you guys back to the recording or the podcast episode that will be available. So you can consume the content wherever is best for you, whatever works best for you, right? So some people look at this and they're like, whoa, that's too much content. That is too much for me. And that's totally understandable. Like I get that. So my strategy is not what you have to do. And I definitely recommend for you. Oh, no. And Instagram just crashed. I just don't even know what to say, because if I hadn't been recording this on my laptop, I would have lost that entire presentation. So That's another note to talk about is set yourself up for Instagram freaking crashing. So if you missed the first part, this is part two. If you missed the first part, go check out the podcast. It is Wildly You Podcast for Entrepreneurs on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, etc. But you guys, if you're just joining me, thank you so much. This is part two of my easy tips for shifting your Instagram content. I was trying to share a screen from my camera roll and Instagram crashed on me. So yay, hopefully they fix that crap soon so we can actually do video content. But anyways, we're just going to pick up right where we left off. I'm going to post this awkward YouTube video and then after I record this and then the podcast will also be available. So thank you so much for coming back. This is where I was going. I had shared before my social media content shift, and I post something every single day of the week. And that can be overwhelming for some people, but this is a more sustainable content calendar. So the reason that I choose Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I mean, you could do Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday if you want, is to give your posts and your content 48 hours to breathe, because there's not really any proof that this is something, but the average shelf life of an Instagram post is about 48 hours. And Reels is a little bit of a different situation because they can be picked up if the audio goes viral, etc. So we just like to give posts that are living somehow on our grid the ability to breathe for that 48 hours. So in this strategy, you see Monday is a carousel post. Carousel posts are fabulous to nurture your current audience and give them a way to interact with you by swiping through your content. If you've never heard me rant about carousel posts before, they're freaking amazing because you have two opportunities to get your audience engaged: your title slide and then the subtitle slide, as I call it. That subtitle slide is a really great opportunity to really dive deep and like kind of poke at them, like, hey, you didn't swipe that first one. But why don't you swipe this one? Because if they didn't engage with it the first time, it'll show up again in their feed on the second slide. So it gives you that extra opportunity. Another little tidbit before I go too deep into carousel posts is that last carousel slide, make sure you maximize that for your call to action on whatever you're doing so that they don't actually have to go to the caption to know what next action you want them to do, whether it's a thought, whether it's a comment below, whether it's ask me a question, follow me, etc. Okay. So on Friday, you see that there's the little live emblem above the F. So Friday, the idea would be that you would do an Instagram live, kind of like what I'm doing right now, pray and hope and manifest whatever you do that Instagram doesn't crash on you. Please make sure you have a backup option like I have with my camera or my laptop that you can't see. That's the only way I'm salvaging this IGTV. It's going to be an awkward one, but whatever. And then you can repost that live recording to your IGTV so that then it is there for reference for people if they were not able to watch. All right, so that is a little bit more of a sustainable option for people that may be a little bit more busy, because from this, if you organize and like kind of plan out your IGTV, your IG live best, the best that works for you, you'll be able to start to consider how you could create a reel for next week and how you could create a carousel post for next week and drive people back to that IGTV or start a discussion about whatever that IGTV was about from the previous week, or go into deeper detail or showcase another tip that you shared in the IGTV again on Monday, right? All right, so let's see if it'll let me switch to my last slide. Oh, I'm praying and hoping and manifesting. Okay, so here we go. Last slide here. Thank you so much for sticking around. A lot of people have been annoyed with the shift to pushing video content here on Instagram. And I get it. But here's the thing, and I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love. Entrepreneurship is hard AF. Like, it is a challenge every single day. If it's not our mindset that we're working on, we're having to work on either figuring out our social media strategy or just figuring out what the heck to post next, right? It is a challenge, and it is why you decided to do it in the first place. You had this purpose and this passion that fueled you to go out and decide that I'm going to do this dang thing and I'm going to make an impact on the world, and it is going to be amazing, and I'm going to help so many people with whatever you do. So, when you get mad, when you get frustrated, remember, go back to who you're serving. If you're frustrated with the Instagram app, and you're like, oh, I'm going to leave Instagram, blah, 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 and just like a fury of emotion. I get it. I've been there. Like, go look at my Twitter if you want to see my emotional rants that I participated in. That's why I have my Twitter. But just make sure that you backtrack and you remember that it's not always about you. Like, how is your audience consuming your content? Like 6 of you join me live. I've had 8 at the highest point. That's a lot for my lives because I don't go live. But I planned ahead and I made sure that you guys knew the value that you were going to get from this so that this is going to continue to increase in viewers. Okay. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to start helping you guys understand that, hey, Sid's going to go live and she's going to answer questions. She's going to talk her face off. She's going to get onto so many tangents because her ADHD brain is just crazy. And we're going to learn so much crap for free, right? So this is where I'm showing up for you guys because my people are here. I have an Instagram family. I have a fabulous community. That means you too watching right now. And I just want to make sure that I keep showing up where you enjoy being. So that is why I'm going to be staying here on Instagram. It was not a paid endorsement by Instagram for me to say that. God, I wish. That would be really cool, right? Anyways, so the second tip here is like, if you're mad about the shift, I challenge you to get creative. Like, I know that we're scared of change. And a lot of us, like, I do have an introvert side. Some days I don't want to be on video. Some days I don't want to even think about trying to create content or figuring out how to serve other people. Like, I just want to be by myself. We're allowed that. But maybe we just start to be more self aware and then push ourselves when we aren't feeling that way into being more creative and having fun and sharing that energy with people, right? And then last thing here, ask for help. Like, quite literally, I am here to help you with this. I have been called the content queen by so very many people. It is not a self-appointed title, but it is one that I will gladly accept. I have so many creative ideas for crazy content that's not hard to create. And I will meet you at your level for wherever you need help. Okay. So, just a small little note, I am only taking intensives for this month. July, I'm having surgery in August. So we're not booking anything in August, but I'm taking 2 more slots for intensives in July. So if you want like straight up one-to-one help, let me know, DM me about an intensive and we can do that. And then I'm also opening the doors for one-to-one coaching back in September. And I also have a membership for entrepreneurs who want to figure out how to just be wildly you in all of these shifts and the ebbs and the flows of this creative space, social media, business. If you're looking for a community to like hone in on and find collaborations with and just support each other crazy wildly, then let me know. That is called the Wildly You membership. And it is $97 a month. It is a low ticket offer. $97 is what, like 6 trips to Starbucks anymore? I think that was a little over dramatized, but anyways, all right. If you tune in for the second part after Instagram shut me down, make sure you either go find the podcast episode or the IGTV, which I'm going to post the awkward YouTube version where I'm looking up and away from the camera. But feel free to check that out. Those will be posted on Thursday. My next live is next week, and we are talking with Lexi Heigl of, Lexi Weigel. Why did I say Heigl? It's like Katherine Heigl. So sorry, Lexi, if you're watching this. Lexi Weigel from the desk of Lexi. And we are going to talk about how Instagram is now feeling kind of like the real Regina George. And we're going to get a little emotional and we're going to talk about it because it's important to get the emotions out. So if you want to come and vent and rant and just bitch basically about how it feels for Instagram to just be constantly shifting on us and just kind of making us feel certain ways, then please feel free to come and tune into that, participate in the discussion, or DM me if you have anything that you want us to chat about. So thank you so much. I'm Sydney and I'm out. Thanks for joining. Okay, So what did you think of that video? It was a little bit of a hot mess, right? But I hope it gave you some really great nuggets of wisdom and insight to helping you create a social media strategy to shift your content strategy on Instagram to being sustainable and competitive with the updated algorithm. If you have any questions on how I can help you create a wildly you strategy, just let me know. I'm here to support you and help you figure out and embody what makes you wildly you. So until next time, you guys.